Oh my goodness. Michael Burry, the guy who predicted the 2008 crash, is back at it again, and he just issued another massive warning about the impending stock market crash of 2022. Yes, this year. We only got 3 months left. He's saying those 3 months we will experience a crash. Some heavy stuff to talk about. Let's get straight into it. No interest today, no nothing. So this is the actual tweet I'm going to talk about. This and another tweet, which is that tweet. The second tweet, there's 2 tweets he actually tweeted. Let's start with the first one. Based on this tweet you're seeing on the screen right now, Michael Burry is saying, hey guys, I got a checklist. If I look at my checklist, this is what I see. Crypto crash happened. Yeah, Bitcoin is at 20,000, 19,000. Meme crash happened. Yes, the entire meme stock thing collapsed. It's gone. I know there's a lot of people still buying into that. That's fine. That's gambling. But so far, it has collapsed. SPACs, don't get me started on the SPACs. SPACs have absolutely been blown out of the water. Inflation, still above 8%. So based on these checklist items, he's saying a crash is definitely in the cards. And he's saying 2000, 2008. So basically what Michael Burry is saying here is that this is the next big crash after the subprime crash of 2008, after the dot-com bubble crash of 2000. Now look, this is not Michael Burry's first rodeo. In fact, he's been known to be a little bit over pessimistic about the market, predicting crashes that do not happen all the fucking time. We know this. There's a running joke about how Michael Burry predicted 17 out of the last 0 crashes. Yes, we can make fun about it all day long. That does not mean that what he's saying right now is wrong. In fact, I think he has a good point. Let me explain. If you just look at the timeline here before we go through the analysis, it's long overdue. If we have a crash every decade or so in the US, we're already a little bit late as it is. It's been over 14 years since the previous crash. It's a long time for the market, which is a cyclical animal. Now, that's besides the point. Let's talk a little bit about fundamentals here. Now, what he followed up with is this tweet. This is the latter tweet where he says, kind of elaborates on this checklist. No, we have not hit bottom yet. Watch for failures, then look for the bottom. 2 SPAC ETFs filing is not near enough. Basically, he's telling you, hey, my checklist points to a crash, and this isn't it. There's way more room to fall from here. That's what he's saying. Now, the question is, do I think he's right or do I think he's wrong? What the hell is going on with Michael Burry? And I'm going to give you my straight up answer right now. Michael Burry is just an indicator, and I'll explain. Whether you think he's right or wrong depends on one question and one question only, which is what the Fed will do. Let me explain. In our history, looking back at the 2000 crash or the 2008 crash, which he referenced in his first tweet, both those crashes had nothing to do with the Federal Reserve. 2000 was the dot-com bubble. 2008 was the whole real estate shenanigans crash, the subprime mortgages, all that good stuff. The Fed definitely played a role in trying to stop it or mitigate the results of it and, solve some of the aftermath. But none of this has been directly the result of Fed actions. This time in 2022, it's a whole different enchilada. This time, the Fed and the Fed alone will determine whether the United States is going into a stock market crash. Now, hear me out before you disqualify what I just said. If the Fed decides that they're going to follow through on what they promised and absolutely be hawkish all the way through this year and next year, in that case, that means that money will be more expensive and scarce, which means that the economy is going to pull back, which means that the stock market will absolutely pull back. And there's a good chance of a crash right away this year. However, if the Fed will not be able to follow through on their promise, on their desired plan because of political pressures or whatever that may be, in that case, there's a good chance of a relief rally before the end of the year, and then the realization moment next year is going to lead to a crash. Whichever of these scenarios you think is more probable, this is the answer to your question of whether Michael Burry is right or wrong. Michael Burry in this case is just an indicator. If you believe the Fed And if you believe that the Fed will be able to execute their plan without political interference, then for you, Michael Burry is 100% on point. However, if you think that the Fed will not be able to follow through completely on what they're promising as far as being hawkish, then in that case, you definitely don't think that Michael Burry is right. It's that simple. There's no two more ways about it. Now, here's the thing. If you actually go back and you look at how the Fed behaved in the past, there's a lot of signs here that this time they might mean business. Now, I don't think that the Fed are really good at withstanding political pressure. At least they haven't been in the past. But look at how bad things have gotten. If I'm Jerome Powell, I have to worry about my legacy. And if I'm going to be the guy who's going to do it twice, basically by saying transitory, and then letting inflation ruin everything without taking proper action, my legacy is doo-doo. As it stands right now, Jerome Powell's legacy is already kind of doo-doo. If Jerome Powell is going to sit back and say, hey guys, I'm not going to let you destroy my good name, I'm actually going to take action and I will handle inflation even at the price of annoying some powerful people. In that case, you can expect what Michael Burry is saying. At this point, if you think the Fed will actually raise rates and going to reduce balance sheet aggressively until the end of the year, then this stock market crash is no longer just a possibility. Rather, it becomes an inevitability. Simple as that. Now again, it's just my opinion, which might be inaccurate, might be completely wrong, might be the ramblings of a madman. As always, don't click nothing, don't buy nothing, and don't sign up to nothing. Simple as that. How about that? See you in the next video. All the best. Give my love to Mike.